everybody is.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, old friend.
Oh no, I miss you.
Old meaning duration of time,
Oh no,
not.
I'm old. And
uh,
I fully embrace that word. I have no issues with it. I'm good with that.
I miss you too. It's been too long.
It has been too long. Hello, St. Peter's. We're back.
Hello, friends in St. Peter's. How's everybody doing?
I guess I should. I do such a bad job talking to you and reading this. I feel like I can't multitask that much.
Well, maybe I can help out.
Okay. Can I lean on you for that to read?
Can I lean on you for that to read? Yes, and you can also lean on me for sound control too. Martha and Christopher. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Amy
Hi, everyone. Happy
and
New Year.
Melissa. People are saying it's reunited and it feels so good.
Well, I have to second that or third that sentiment because
Yeah.
I know that I adore you, and it's been way too long since we've
Oh,
here.
yeah. I don't even want to think about the time, but how are you?
Uh, Actually, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's as good as we can be. The new year, I feel a little hopeful in the new year. I hope it's not squashed. Um, but I do feel like, okay, maybe this will be a year where things can actually move forward and
Hmm.
start to feel a little bit more. I don't think normal is the right word, but just returning to something that feels more sustainable, less uncertain, less anxious. So I feel hopeful for that. How about you?
Um, I my common response to that question these days has been I am all things. I'm happy. I'm concerned. I'm on my own feet. I'm standing tall. I'm shivering with a little fear. I am all things, and that feels good. It feels better than being numb
Yes.
or or blasé or apathetic. So I sort of embrace it and sort of am learning to embrace the feels as they come, the sadness, the joy, and just try to be in the moment as much as possible. So, that's not easy, but that's the way to get through this crazy time that we are still existing in, right?
It sounds very human and very beautiful.
Yeah, yeah. I thought about you when I heard the term mother face. Did that resonate with you?
Why are you saying that about me? Can you imagine I have a good mother face?
I want to know if you have a good mother face.
You ask my child, but I would say that Sophia definitely knows when I'm being serious. So I probably do. And my mother face is probably very similar to my teacher face. So I have a lot of practice with that face.
I like that response. I want a mother face sometimes. I wonder what
Oh,
my mother face would be.
yeah, you can practice it. Practice it right now. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
I feel like I want to say, what you talking about, Willis?
Well,
Uh,
it's
eh,
lovely to talk to you. And
eh,
we
eh,
are going to talk to somebody who is somebody in our congregation that we are happy to welcome on the St. Peter View. So come on down, Riley Wilson.
Riley,
Hello.
hi.
So, for those of you who don't know Riley, Riley joined us during the pandemic and has been becoming really involved in St. Peter's. You've probably heard him sing. He has a lovely, beautiful voice, just like Christopher,
Aw.
on Sundays. So, that's been really fun to get to know you a little bit in that way. But this is our time to get to know you a little bit more for anybody who hasn't. Like, I don't believe Christopher's met you.
Not
So,
yet.
yeah, so if you want to, Riley, I don't know if there's anything that you want to say just in means of introduction to the community.
Yeah, well, I first of all, I just want to say I'm a big fan of the St. Peter's View. I my first service online with St. Peter's was in March 2021, and there was a view service right afterwards. So I'm very excited to be on here today. Kind of starstruck, I must say. But yeah, I'm Riley. I grew up in Ohio and I moved to New York right after I graduated college. I went to Hope College in Holland, Michigan, and graduated in December of 2020. So I've been living in New York for almost a year now. I am an actor, so that's what brought me to the city. And yeah.
Very fun. Well, we're so excited to get to know you a little bit and chat with you.
Yeah, a lot of talented people come from Ohio, so
Are you
I've
from
heard.
Ohio, Christopher?
I'm not from Ohio, but I definitely respect the native Ohioans. Is that the right term?
Yes, it
But
is. Yeah.
yeah, but a lot of talented people come from Ohio. Do you feel that way, Riley?
I do. Well, it's also funny. First of all, you have a lovely singing voice, by the way. That was beautiful in service today.
No.
Thank you.
Of course.
And if I have to say, if you listen to that track again, it's really Joey Prestamo whose arrangement of that song. It's miraculous. It is so specific. It is so informative to the singer. I mean, Joey, hats off to you because really that's the bulk of it.
Yay, Joey.
But thank you. Thank you. And so do you. I'm so glad. I think between the three of us, what could we sing?
We'll have to do a trio someday.
Yeah, we will have to. I lo- and someone knows you as a very stellar bartender, Riley.
I know. Now I'm looking at that too.
Yeah, Aaron Lee, the lovely Aaron Lee of St. Peter's, connected me with a bartending gig one time, and yeah, it was a good gig, I must say.
Oh,
That's great.
are you actually bartending for your kind of day job right now, or?
Kind of. So I have like 3 day jobs. I do like the absolute most. I'm trying to make the acting thing happen. But yeah, I'm currently signed with a catering company where I bartend for them sometimes for like different corporate lunch events and stuff. And then I'm also a dog walker. That's been a big thing that I've been doing. Um, yeah. And then I'm like temping every now and then too.
Yeah. Well, Christopher has a dog and I have a dog, so we're very fond of dogs. So you're highly welcome.
Yes.
Yeah. So what we do here, as you probably know if you've seen it, is we do the 10 rapid fire questions, which we really should rename that because they're never um, and the questions we ask are not, I mean, they're not things you could actually answer quickly. So they're just 10 questions to get to know you better. And they kind of they have a wide gamut in terms of silliness to seriousness. And so we try to kind of weave everything in. And so if you're ready, I think we're ready.
I'm ready.
Oh.
All right, Christopher, do you want to ask the first question?
It's a lady's choice.
Oh, okay. Then why don't we start with an easy one? Okay, here's the easy rapid fire question to get you started. If you were a cheese, what cheese would you be?
Wow. Wow. Well, see, I love France, like anything about France. I've been to France a few times. I took 5.5 years of French language, I think, in school. So I have to say, probably a brie cheese. I don't know why, other than the fact that I love France, but I'm going to go with brie.
That's a good one. Christopher, actually, I want to know what your answer to this would be. What kind of cheese would you be?
My cheddar, because that's just popped out of my mind. I'd be a sharp cheddar. I guess that's the kind of cheese I would be. Maybe kind of sharp, like lives on the palate, I guess.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
How about you, Martha?
I think I'd be a blue cheese because I'm really just not for everyone. So I'm okay with that. So
Well, a blue cheese, I love blue cheese, first of all. And Riley loves blue cheese, but I think blue cheese is so special and similar to brie as well because it's presented as one thing, but then you add a little heat to brie and it becomes something else. And I think blue cheese is the same thing. It's like this one thing, but the way it crumbles, it's like an artistic flair to it. So I'm digging it. Cheddar is just like you got it, or
That's widely loved. It's reliable. It's delicious.
There we go.
It is Christopher.
solid, solid. I love it. Hey, here's the next question. What do you miss about pre-COVID life, if anything?
I mean, I'm a big extrovert, so I miss just being with people. Like honestly, it was so rough having to just like not be around my friends all the time when everything hit, and just gathering and not because like I feel like we're at a place now where we can gather again, but like it's usually like there's restrictions and we're always like very weary and like have to be very careful. I just miss being able to be with people and just be free, like being like lightly, freely being around other people, and for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. And most people probably feel some measure of that sentiment. So
Mhm.
that's a cheddar answer. I'm gonna use that,
Sure.
and I'm gonna use that as an adjective when it's like a good answer that everyone would agree with. It's gonna be a cheddar answer.
It's cheddar, yeah.
Okay, if you could wake up tomorrow and have one wish granted, what would it be?
For COVID to go away.
Good one. Cheddar answer.
Good one. Whoosh, like go away. I like that. What's your wish,
Me?
Martha? Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably that, but I think there's other things I haven't actually thought about this one. Let's see, what would it be? I don't know. I think politics are so messed up in this country right now. It's so divided that I really would. I don't know exactly what the wish would be, but some kind of discourse that's a little bit more compassionate and understanding. So that's that. I think that is probably what my wish would be. How about you?
I would tag between both you and Riley that, gosh, if COVID could just like whoosh, disappear, that would be beautiful. But I'm also of the, when I said I'm all things, and one of the things I said is I'm confused. And I think that's a part of what I'm experiencing as far as the discourse that's happening or the non-discourse that's happening. It's very heartbreaking. It's very nervous making. Like, where are we headed as a country, and in that case as a global world, like where are we headed, and how can we make sure we're headed to some place that's productive and supportive of all life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We covered Brie and we're covering international politics. So I'm really
That's and that's St. Peter's, Chelsea's view. Be glad you didn't turn off the channel when service was over. Here's a question for you, Riley. What's a favorite childhood memory?
Probably going to the beach with my family. We always went to Gulf Shores, Alabama. I don't know if either of you have been there, but it's just a really fun beach town in Alabama. And my grandparents owned a condo there, like right across the street from the beach. So we would just walk down from our little condo and like cross the street. And there was a lot of fun restaurants and stuff to eat at. There was like a little amusement park, and we probably went every single year that I was a kid. Yeah, well, we did a lot of family vacations growing up.
That's fun. Those are fun memories.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reveal that I didn't have a good education when I was growing up. Is Alabama on the coast?
It is, yeah.
I did graduate from college, but it wasn't in Alabama. So.
You work in education. Hey.
But I don't teach geography.
I was never taught geography, actually. Like that, like my school, we didn't have a geography class. So I think that's actually pretty common for people not to be given that.
Did you know Alabama was on a coast?
No. It's okay, not something.
In the chat, how many people knew Alabama was on a coast and had beaches?
Yes, they will reveal themselves as it comes out. But yeah, I like a childhood memory that's centered around togetherness, that I
Yeah.
think that's special.
Lily has joined us. She has decided she no longer wants to stay in the bedroom quiet. So the next question we have is, tell us, if you're comfortable, the last thing that made you cry.
Hmm.
I just went to see To Kill a Mockingbird on Broadway 2 days ago. That definitely made me cry in a good way. Yeah.
That's a good one. I mean, I haven't seen it on Broadway, but always the book, the movie, always. So, nope.
Oh, well, don't leave him hanging, Martha. Well, what's the last thing that made you cry? We can all like.
Oh, so many things. I'm a total crybaby, so I cry very often. I don't know that I could come up with the last thing. Probably in spiritual direction last week. There's always a lot of tears involved in that. So, yeah. And you, Christopher?
It was probably some movie that we watched, and it probably had to do something with a child. Something about children in stories, like either in movies or in theater. I'm like such a sucker, just like makes me cry. So it was probably some movie that we watched that some child had some emotional truth that they shared. Yeah.
A good one.
I love it. I love it. Here's another one for you, Riley.
Mhm.
What Lord of, and this is very specific to St. Peter's culture, what Lord of the Rings character would you be?
Legolas. In fact, I went as Legolas for Halloween this year.
Get up. I saw, so I specifically included this question, or wanted to include this question, because the first time I met Riley in person was actually at the Hobbit day. With your roommate, right? And
Yes.
I believe you both had on these vests business. Like, there was definitely some costuming going on. So I was like, okay, this is a man who knows his Lord of the Rings. Let me ask about this.
Yeah, for Hobbit Day we went as hobbits, and we actually both come from theater school. So when we were in theater school, we both did costuming, and so we wore vests that we had made in our costume class in school, and which was so fun.
Wow, that's a personal touch. I love that. I
And
love
what was
that.
your whole Legolas costume? Did you have a blonde wig and the ears and the whole business?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, actually, it was funny because my mom was visiting the city with a friend, like right before Halloween, and I had mentioned that I wanted to go as Legolas, but I didn't. I'm kind of like a broke actor right now, didn't really have money to spend on like a big expensive costume, and so my mom's friend was like, "Well, I want you to do it, so I'm gonna send you a costume," and I was like, "What? No, you don't have to do that." And she was like, "Yeah, I already ordered it. It's on the way." She ordered me like a full Legolas costume with the wig, the bow, everything.
Oh my gosh. Was it good? Sometimes you get those costumes and you're like, yikes, what is this? But was it like a good costume?
But I put it on and I was like, oh, this is it.
Wow.
Cheddar.
Cheddar. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Your mom's choices in Friends is cheddar. I mean, that like says a lot about it says a lot about your mom and who she chooses to hang out with, and it says about their love of you. Oh, that's beautiful.
By the way, St. Peter's, we fully expect cheddar to become like a thing now. So, you guys should all practice working it into your vernacular, because it's definitely a thing with us. So,
Rapid fire, Martha. Which Lord of the Rings character would you be?
oh, me. You know what? This is a result of a middle-aged brain. I can't remember her name, but there's only two major female characters, but it's the one that kills the witch god and then says, "I am no man." Arwen? No. What is her name?
Eowyn. Right?
Eowyn!
Yeah.
So of course that's who I would be. And Christopher, you?
Sure.
I'd be, I think, the Hobbit that talks about second breakfast, third breakfast. I mean, this is definitely in my, usual vernacular saying like, I think it's time for fifth breakfast. Yeah, that's definitely a part of my world, so that nails it.
All right, next question. It's also, this is another food related question. If you had
Love food.
one meal to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Hmm. That's a hard one because I also really like food, and there's not a lot of foods that I don't like. But I think I'd have to go with Italian, like probably pasta specifically. Like any kind of Italian food, I'm always down for. Love the carbs. So pasta.
All right, that's a good one. Christopher, what's yours?
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Chicken dinner of all varieties would be my go-to. Fried chicken, roasted chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, whatever sides go with chicken dinner would be mine. And my grandmother's sweet potato pie for dessert.
Love it. Okay.
What
Um,
about you?
Mine actually, I think would be Korean. I'm having this weird thing where I'm all of a sudden loving everything Korean again, and it feels very like comforting and nostalgic. I kind of thought that happened to you in your like 60s or 70s, and I'm not that old yet, but but I guess I'm advanced because it's happening now. So eating Korean food, I mean, we grew up eating a lot of Korean food. So it feels very comforting when I eat a Korean meal. Like I have a lot of memories and a lot of good feelings attached to it. So I'd probably have
What does it say if I feel nostalgic about Korean food? Because I love some bibimbap.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you guys have that growing up? That would be amazing if you did.
I only had it once in New York within the past year, but I loved it.
Okay, I'm having a bibimbap party. You guys are all coming over when it's a little bit warmer and we're opening and then we're all making bibimbap, which would be amazing.
I'm for it. Food. Food, glorious food.
So
Here's one for you, Riley. What is your fantasy vacation?
Well, I've always wanted to go to Greece so bad and just have never gone. But like I studied abroad in London in college, and got to like go to some different countries on the weekends because London is like super central to everything. So I got to go. I went to France, obviously. I went to Ireland, Scotland, Norway is where my family comes from. So I have had the privilege to go to Norway a few times, which has been amazing. But you know, like when you study abroad, like you're only there for like 3 months, and like there's so many different places to see. Like you have to kind of pick and choose where you want to go. And Greece was one that I almost went to, but didn't, because I just know that like when I go, I want to get like the full experience. I don't want to go for like just a weekend. I want to go for like 2 weeks and see everything. I want to like walk in the like steps of Jesus and like see the different biblical locations and everything. And I have a cousin who did that on a missions trip, and said it was just absolutely amazing. And so I would love to do something like that where I go for 2 weeks and see everything. And especially like as a theater person too, all of the ancient Greek theater, like the amphitheaters are still there and everything. And I would love to go to Athens and see like the amphitheater and everything. And yeah, definitely Greece.
that's a good one. That's
Nice.
Okay, next question, because I think we're probably running a little long, as we do. So, what rejuvenates you?
Mindfulness meditation.
So you can do meditation. I cannot do meditation. I
Yeah.
literally cannot. I don't know what it's like to not think about every single thing that comes in your brain when you're quiet. So
It's hard. I have ADHD, so it's a skill. Like I definitely had to teach myself how to do it. And like it is like fighting against that ADHD brain, but in the end I feel like it's what really helps me and like centers me, for me.
yeah, no, that's amazing.
I'm a huge advocate for meditation, and I would advocate for it being taught in grade school because it is such a helpful tool. And in fact, I did teach like a theater summer camp where it was a part of their not curriculum, but to see like a sixth grader like go sit against the wall and find meditation moment was like, God bless you. Wow. and this is a topic that I love, but I just want to know, how did you come to be introduced to meditation, Riley?
Um, it was because of ADHD actually. When I got to college, my school had it was called CAPS. It was like the psychological center on campus, and you could go see a school psychologist for free, if you were like going through anything. And I just, like it's hard already transitioning from high school to college, but with ADHD, I had not really been prepared to like be able to deal with that part of myself in college versus high school. It was a very different way of um, of living with my ADHD. So I knew that I needed to get some help, and I went to the psychological center on campus, and they actually said mindfulness meditation is what they really recommended for me. And so they were like, okay, we're going to sign you up for a group class, and usually you go 4 times, and then you can keep coming if you want, but really it's just you go 4 times to learn how to do it and get the skills ingrained in you. And so I did just that. I went to 4 different group sessions, and then I've just been doing it ever since. Like it really has just been like anytime I'm like stressed or anxious, or I just feel my mind just like running a million miles per hour, I just say, okay, I'm gonna sit down, take some deep breaths. Yeah, it's been one of the best things that I've ever discovered for sure.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to be with you in person and to hear more. It's a favorite topic of mine. And meditation is not about, what's the word, absolute quiet. It is actually embracing the chatter and the noise. Some people call them the monkeys in your mind, but
Yeah.
here we go. Last question. What will your life look like when you're 50?
Because that's very close for me and Christopher. So, what do you think it's going to look like? Because this is what it looks like almost 50.
Well, I mean, I have to say, I have no idea. However, I do. I fell in love with London so much when I was studying abroad there, and I would love to move back there someday. Also, I just love travel and like would love to live in a place where I could easily travel to different countries and like Greece. And so I would probably say living in London, doing Shakespeare at the Globe Theater specifically.
Wow.
Shakespeare is my favorite thing to do as an actor. Yeah, but who knows? God knows. But that I would love to live in London again.
Well, you put it out there, and the universe has a very, very clever way of making what you think come to fruition. So it sounds like you're going to have a passport full of stamps when you're 50. Oh my gosh. Well, looking at the chat really quickly, we've made a lot of people hungry, of course, with our food talk, which we love to do. And there are plenty of people who, like us, did not know Alabama had beaches.
We're not alone in
We are not alone. And the Steps of St. Paul is going to be a part of your Greece fantasy vacation, I think. So,
Cool.
yeah, people supporting the meditation habit and celebrating London and the Globe Theater. It sounds like a wonderful life. It will be a wonderful life. And you are a wonderful person, Riley, as we've come to know. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was so fun to chat with you a little bit, and it was good to be all together.
And one thing, I think apparently we have to like pinky promise between the three of us, pinky promise that we're going to do a trio. We're going to sing a trio. Apparently that's what's being demanded of us. So I guess this is a pinky promise that will happen.
People have spoken.
Joey, we need you.
So it was great. Love you both.
Love you too.
We end 1, 2, 3 cheddar. Okay. Here we go.
Thank you, Riley. 1,
2, 3 cheddar.
Have a good day.
Have a good
week.
day.
Oh, Millie. Bye.
Are we off?
No, we're still live.
We are. Can we turn it off now?